Yeah.
So, okay. What about any of the data visualization tools? You know, I
Yeah.
know we use Tableau, but there's like a handful of other ones out there. I mean, do you see that as not, I mean, and obviously you can do that in Python and R.
Well,
Is that,
I
would
would
you,
say that is actually an additional distinction between those two
okay.
setups for me.
Okay.
The ease and uh, breadth of the visualizing you can do in R, to my mind, when I see exploratory analysis done in R versus Python, the R stuff is much easier to follow. There are a lot more
Mm-hmm.
tools, particularly coming out of RStudio, which is, I would say, frankly, if RStudio were not doing what it's doing, R would have fallen by the wayside at this point to Python. But
Mm-hmm.
their package development, their tool called Shiny, which is basically
Yeah.
you can do what you were doing manually in PHP back in the 90s or whenever, and use basically R only to both create a data server backend, a UI that's customizable, and a reactive JavaScript framework that's powering the app, all within the RStudio framework and all with R code. And the ability to do that is, it's like, it sounds too simple to be true, but my ability to make Shiny apps is what got people's attention about me when I was a more junior data scientist. If you have a really compelling data visualization toolkit like that you can use to express your ideas and showcase what is possible in production. I mean, it's basically a prototyping tool. You can think of it as a pre-production demonstration of what's possible with the data set. And the ability to do that and to use it as a communication tool for decision makers and engineers alike is immense in my mind and not matched by anything that's available in Python. There are those who would argue whether that's true, but I haven't seen anything that has the ease and feature set of Shiny, and I think it sets R apart from a prototyping and data visualization perspective.
Well, I mean, this is your episode, man, so you don't have to appease anyone else there, right?
So you can just. I'm always thinking of the
throw the hammer down
out there.
All right,
it's a great tool, and it makes learning R worth it, even if you're. I mean, yes, the foibles you point out in R are definitely true. I won't take anything away from that. I think the other hilarious thing that comes up is that R uses a 1 index for the first item in a vector versus
a 0.
Yeah. So that throws people for a loop. Dot is just a character in R versus something meaningful like a string indicator. But I mean,
concatenator, right? It's almost like a method.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, over in Europe, the first floor of a building is 0, not 1, right? So the first floor you have to go upstairs to. I mean, and they've never done anything good, obviously, right?
No, never.
Okay,
so yeah, I mean, right. So there's some arguing to be done there, but like, I think both platforms do allow you to use something like Plotly or Highcharts or whatever JavaScript, whatever D3 package you want to use to visualize whatever data you want to visualize. Both R and Python have, integrators to make that possible. You can use ggplot in both. You can make Plotly happen in both. So I think there's not a clear advantage from that perspective necessarily. But
and now RStudio is a desktop tool?
Yeah, it's an IDE, so it's just the environment where you write your code, execute scripts, and visualize things.